Okay, here we go. I'm going to start this right when it goes, too. Hello once again, and welcome to Inside Earlham Baseball right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. The Earlham Quakers have a huge series coming up here at Randall R. Sadler Stadium coming up this weekend as they take on Rolls-Hulman. Both teams voted 1 and 2 in the preseason HCAC poll, and head coach Steve Sakosits kind enough to be with us here today. As I look out the press box window, I know that today, kind of a windy day, and it's going to be a little bit cooler maybe coming up this weekend, but it's still going to be a great weekend for baseball.
It is. It's going to be two teams that, in the preseason were picked top of the conference. Rose, who, took 2 games from us last year, especially in our dedication day. They did well that day. And, a team that has a lot of returning players coming back, probably the most in the conference. We probably have the second most amount of returning players. And they're going to be a tough team, but I'm so excited to go out there and watch our kids compete and, go up against a team that, is perennially one of the top teams in the conference.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, I'll tell you what, you're playing well right now. You come in with 11 wins.
10.
10 wins,
yeah.
Excuse me. I'm counting one ahead already.
Yes, I like
10 wins. It was Mount St. Joe that you played yesterday that had 11 wins. Mm-hmm. And you ended up beating them. 4-hour ball game, as you said, but bottom line is you walk out of there with a big win.
Yeah, this conference is an absolute dogfight. I mean, every team, you can't go into a game or a weekend series and just say, hey, we're guaranteed we're going to get 2 or sweep this team. But that's also what's great about it, because your kids know that every game is going to be meaningful. Every game is going to be hard fought. And so they're going in there hopefully with that intensity that they just can't think a team's going to roll over on them. Last year we made the conference tournament as a 4 seed. We had 15 conference wins. A third of those conference wins came in those midweek games, and those are the toughest ones. We told our kids last night, you guys got class in the morning, got all these different things going on, and then you got to focus up for a baseball game. Where on the weekends you're just playing baseball. And that's what you're focused on, and we know that. And the other team is the exact same way. And you're going to get hard fought wins where it's going to be kind of teams swinging it well in the midweek, because you're going to get some guys that on the pitching staff side are not the weekend guys, but getting that game yesterday against a really, really much improved Mount St. Joe's team at their place on the road, any of those wins. That was really our first road game. We played some neutral site games in Florida, but first time this whole year we were hitting first, and they put a run on us, took a lead. We came over, took the lead again. They came back. It was back and forth, but it really was a great tone setter for our kids to see what the conference is going to be. I mean, they were picked 10th. And
wow.
Right now they're 11-3, so it tells you how deep this conference is, how good the conference is going to be, and again, every game is going to be a dogfight.
I was watching throughout the night, as you mentioned, how that thing went back and forth, and again, you got the lead. They came back 7-7. I'm thinking, here, they're at home, and then you eventually win the game.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it was a great battle, a great game to be a part of. As a pitching guy, I'd like to see less walks on that part of it, but that's going to be. It was a tighter zone yesterday, but our kids competed.
Yeah.
And, if you continue to compete, because at any point, man, you get 4-run lead and then they come back and get 4 back and tie it up, man, that could knock you down.
Yeah.
And our kids didn't have that. They were, hey, we're going to win this thing, no matter how it's going to be, how ugly it's going to be, how long it's going to take. We're going to figure out a way at the end to be in the lead in the end. So,
Coach, talk a little bit about, you mentioned pitching moments ago, and in baseball, we're so statistically wound to some of the things that we see in statistics. Talk about your pitching right now, because if you look at it, your ERA is very, very low. Again, you mentioned 10 wins, and you've got a couple of guys in that hitting order that haven't really hit as well as they did last year at this time, so pitching's really done it for you.
Well, we've told our team we've not played a complete game yet this year, and it's kind of scary to say that when you're 10-2, that you haven't played a complete game, but we don't feel we have done that yet. We haven't had the offense and the pitching and the defense clicking at one time. You look at that, but you look at those guys offensively that maybe have struggled on the batting average side of things, but you look at other things they're doing, maybe walks or stolen bases when they're getting their opportunities to get on base. And, some of these baseball cards these guys have say they're going to hit. It's just, when is that part going to happen? And, it could be pretty scary that if they haven't done it yet and you're 10-2, what could they do?
Yeah.
On the mound, ERA, I think, is a stat that's overused. I told our kids we want to be leading the conference in least amount of walks per 9 innings. I think right now in the country, I think we're top 20 ERA. We're top 20 in least amount of walks per 9 innings. We're top 20 in whip in the season. And that's what we want to do. We're not really a strikeout staff or a staff that's going to go after you, dictate counts. As I've always said, we dictate the count, we're going to have success. And we've done that so far this year, and we've got to continue that as we go in the conference season, because if we give up the free base, teams are going to be able to put the ball in play against us. But we want to make sure we're not giving up that free base so that they're getting hits with nobody on base as opposed to getting hits with runner on second and third or first and second and scoring runs and making a big inning for them.
We're going to talk about, again, what the lineup will look like coming up on Friday and Saturday when Rose-Hulman comes to Randall R. Sadler Stadium. I was mentioning a couple of players. They're still putting up some numbers in the RBI category, the stolen base category. I think of Brandon Laird. He hasn't quite gotten himself going. Brandon Smalling, he had such a great start last year, not quite in rhythm as of yet. But like you say, you get those two guys going, and you got Thomas Ray, the way he's hitting right now, could be kind of scary.
Yeah, yesterday in our lineup, you went Lynch, who's hitting in the 400s, Laird, who's getting himself back going, Ray's in the 400s, and then Smalling, in average-wise, is in above 3, but he's got leads our team in RBIs. You look in our 7-hole yesterday, Eric Elkes, who's now hitting 325, is hitting our 7-hole. We've spread those guys out throughout the lineup. We look at quality at-bats, and a quality at-bat is putting a ball and playing hard or moving a runner or all that. That's where, again, batting average is an inflated statistic that kids look at that batting average and say, well, I'm hitting well. Well, everybody can get a hit 3 times every 10 at bats, but what are you doing to help the team win? And those kids who live and die by the batting average are going to be these types of kids. The kids who go up there and every day try to put the ball and play hard, they're going to give themselves the best opportunity. And so the guys that average-wise those balls haven't fallen yet, they're going to fall.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen for them. And they're doing things to get on base or to move a runner, to do the things that the next guy's picking them up. And I think that's what we've done well so far is our situational hitting, and getting the big hit there. I think, yesterday you look at that Elkes home run, Piper got a 2-out walk, and then Elkes hits a 2-run home run there. And those are things you're going to need. You need to get a guy on base. Our guys are patient. When they need to be patient, they're aggressive when they need to be aggressive, and it's going to happen for them. I'm excited to see that. When is it going to happen? I'm hoping it's going to happen this weekend, but we haven't seen that full team Earlham baseball yet, and it can be scary when you do get that.
Speaking of statistics, I know the players can look at them at any time they want to on the Earlham website, but do you I find it interesting you talk about the ERA being a little bit maybe overblown and then in the batting average as well. Do you discourage them from looking at those numbers?
Well, they're human, and so they're going to look at that stuff. And as much as we preach that ERA isn't important and the batting average is important, they're still going to look at those things. But we, every day in our program, if we emphasize it, we're going to be great at it. We emphasize the quality at bat and dictating counts on the mound. And if we do those two things, guess what's going to happen? Those numbers that they're going to want to have, the batting average and ERA, are going to be where they want it to be. Yeah. But we don't talk, hey, we want to hit 330 as a team. We want to have a 2.5 ERA as a team. No. We want to put quality at-bats up there. We're going to put the ball and play hard, do things to help the team win, and we're going to go out there and we're not going to give up the free base. You do those things, again, those numbers you want to have are going to happen. And so it's a process. Last year you look at those numbers we put up early, Smalling hit 500, I think, early in the year, and then kind of tailed off at the end. Well, what if it's the opposite this year? What if it's in the conference he's hitting 500 but that stuff's going to take care of itself because of the approach we have in the program about quality at bats and not giving up the free base.
All right, when you talk about a player that maybe is struggling just a little bit, then do you emphasize the idea that just take it easy, everything will fall into place? Because I know mentally some players just never seem to quite get out of some of those areas, and they have a mediocre season. Do you talk to them a lot about it, or you just kind of let it flow?
Well, it's a process. The one thing I will give our kids credit is we have early work and late work, and our kids are always showing up early. If you just go to practice, you're not going to get better. It's what you do before practice, what you do after practice is going to make you a better player. I will tell you that the guys that are struggling are putting in that extra work. Right. So that's where it's going to happen at some point. I want our guys that are struggling to take the swings that they're taking in practice into the game, and sometimes we're a little bit hesitant to do that. We're a little bit letting the pitcher dictate the count at that point, and we're taking that good pitch that we should be aggressive on. It's about mainly changing that, flipping that switch and saying, okay, I'm going to take that same approach mentally that I'm going up there aggressive in BP. I'm going to take that in the game. And believe me, it's going to happen. They just got to trust that process. process. And so we tell them that, again, a guy goes up there and he might get out, but we're not saying, oh, man, you should have gotten hit there. We're saying, oh, good approach, good at bat right there. Put the ball in play, man. Keep doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And they understand that part of it, where if you're on them, hey, we need to hit 300, need to do this, it's going to kill. They're going to mentally already beating themselves up. You don't want to add more to that.
They're very, very true. All right, 3-game series coming up this weekend here at Randall R. Sadler Stadium. And tell you what, this place looks better and better every time I come out here. And it's just a great, great facility to watch college baseball. But now the emphasis is such an early, important series. Well, I'll ask you again, how important is it knowing it's this early yet you still have so many games left? Do you say, hey, let's set the tone, let's win this series, whatever the case may be? How much emphasis do you put on it?
Well, you want to go into every series and trying to win the series. We've done that in everything we've played this year. When we went to Florida, we went 2-1 in Florida. Every series we played this year, we've either swept or won the series. So you're going to lose individual battles in there, but the war is what you want to win there, and we've done that so far this year. So going into the Rose-Holman series is you want to win that series. You want to put yourself in a position. You get that first game, now you got to win 1 or 2 to win the series. We're going to see a very, very tough team on the mound, offensively, defensively. They're going to be very well coached. They're going to be very tough. But you know what? I'm excited for our kids to go out there. As I said earlier, every single team in this conference is going to be tough. So I don't care if you're Rose or Defiance or Bluffton or Hanover and Franklin, whoever it may be. It's going to be a tough series. This team was just picked first. In that conference. Who knows at the end of the year what it's going to look like? We're hoping that we're at the top. Our goal as a team is we want to host a conference tournament in this stadium. I think this is one of the greatest places to watch and play college baseball at small college level. So we want to host this thing out here. And so for us to do that, we have to win the conference regular season to host a conference tournament. So I think it starts in every week. And if we win every series, we'll go out there and we'll give ourselves the best chance to do that. And we want our kids to go out there and know that we're going to play our game. It's not what Rose is going to do. It's what we're going to do. And if we play our game, we're going to be successful. If we go out there and we're a little bit skittish or a little bit at ease, uneasy because of who we're playing, then you're not going to play well. But know that they're going to battle you and expect them to battle you. You go out there and you expect those things, and you're not surprised when it happens. And so that's what we want our kids to do. We said it yesterday, too. Hey, this team's going to swing it, man. They're going to swing it. They're going to come back. And they did. And guess what? We came back as well. It's going to be a battle. And I'm excited for the fans to come out and see it. I'm excited for our kids to go out there and compete. I wish we were playing today. That's the toughest thing. I couldn't even imagine what football does, taking a week off to wait. But, we played yesterday. I want to play today. I want to play tomorrow. I want to play the next day because I love watching our kids play. I love watching them compete. I love the group that we have here. And I'm excited to go out there and play a team that was projected to be better than us this year and see if we can go out there and surprise some people.
Is there a lot of pressure on that first game, knowing that if you lose that first game, then you certainly have to win that second game to win the series? So how much emphasis then do you put on game one?
I don't think it's any pressure on that. We can still lose game one and still have a chance to win the series on day two because you have 2 more games out there. We take every inning, every pitch, every at-bat individually. We go out there, you win the at-bat, you win the pitch, you win the inning, we get 1 run, they get 0 runs, we've won that inning. You win 9 of those, you're going to win the day. And that's what we want to do. Stay away from the big inning, which is 3 runs or more. We've done a great job of that so far to minimize the other teams doing that. But, it's a game of adjustments. We're not looking at, hey, we need to win 2 of 3 against Rose. What we need to do is we need to win tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if we win tomorrow, we reevaluate. We win game 2, now we go for the sweep. Now we've changed our goals as opposed to winning the series. Now we want to sweep the series.
Yeah.
Okay. You lose game 1, you reevaluate. Hey, let's get game 2 now. You can't live and die and say, well, if we do this, do that. No, you know what? We're going to look at small snippets. Look at this part here. We do well here. We're going to have the success. And it's easier for kids to look at that way.
Yeah.
If we look at, hey, we got to play 18 innings in a doubleheader day. That's a lot of innings. So if you look at, hey, let's go out there and win this inning.
Yeah,
you know what?
right.
It's a little bit easier that way. You look at it that way as opposed to saying, we got to play 18. We got 17 more innings after this. You know what? Let's go out there, win inning 2, win inning 3.
Yeah.
We like our kids to think of it that way.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is psychological, and that's why this guy. Did you major in psychology at Xavier?
I didn't, but again, it's common sense in some things, and so that's what college teaches you. As a criminal justice guy, I showed up for class. I was good enough to get the stuff done. But it's really, again, putting the kids in a situation where you mentally have them know that they're going to be successful. Baseball players always get, tabbed with being kind of cocky. Well, I don't want cocky, I want confident. And if you're
Right.
confident in what you do, you're going to be successful. Again, we're going to face adversity. We're going to get out 3 times in a game. We're going to get out 4 times in a game. But what are you going to do in that 4th or 5th at bat when you have that?
Yeah.
Or that 3rd or 4th inning when you struggled through the first 3, and that's what we want our kids to do. And it's so much easier for them to do that part of it when they are confident and knowing that the next guy's going to pick them up if they don't do their job. And I think we've got a good group that does that.
I do too, and I'll tell you what, I'm glad you went to class too. That's the important part about it. Let me tell you what, this is going to be a great series. As I said, it's today a little bit windy as this taping on a Wednesday, but we're looking for some little cooler temperatures on Friday and Saturday. But it's still going to be a fun weekend of baseball, Coach. Always good to see you, and good luck this week. Okay.
Thank you very much.
And again, we'll have all 3 games right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports, and we'll of course hook up with the head coach next week and talk a little bit about this series. We still have a lot of baseball to be played. As I looked at the schedule, I don't think you're even halfway through yet, are you?
No, we just finished a quarter of the season, so we still got 3 quarters left, and again, it's the more important parts now. Our non-conference games, we were successful, and they were 9-2 in that part. Now it's looking at the conference part. That non-conference schedule is supposed to set you up for the success you're supposed to have in the conference one, and that's what really matters. I could care less what we do in non-conference-wise, just preparing our kids to play in tough games. We did that in the non-conference. Now go out there, and we got 26 more opportunities in this conference. I mean, that's a lot of games. 27 games, but 26 left in your conference to go out there and see who's the best of the best. I'm hoping that we go out there, play hard, give ourselves a chance, and at the end of the whole season, we're looking back and we're hosting a conference tournament here at Sadler.
I would love that myself. Again, we'll talk with the head coach next week, and again, all 3 games this weekend right here on the Radio Troy Digital Sports. We'll see you next time.